Once upon a time, in the busy city of Lagos, there was a girl named Maya. Maya was a beautiful girl, just 12 years old. She was tall for her age, with bright, shiny eyes that sparkled like the stars in the night sky. Her hair was thick, full, and natural, flowing down in waves. Many people would stop and smile when they saw her, because her beauty was something special. Welcome to Afro Tales TV, your home for rich, exciting, and inspiring stories from around the world. Today's story will touch your heart and keep you hooked till the very end. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss any of our amazing stories. Maya didn't have an easy life. For 2 long years, she had been taking care of herself all alone. She used to live with her mom, and they were very close. Maya's mother was kind and gentle, always telling her stories and teaching her how to be strong. They lived in a small but cozy house in the big city of Lagos. It wasn't much, but it was home, and they were happy together. One day, though, everything changed. Maya's mother fell very sick. She didn't know what illness it was, and no doctor could help her. Maya stayed by her mother's side, holding her hand and giving her water, hoping she would get better. But her mother's illness was too strong, and after some time, her mother passed away. Maya was heartbroken. She cried for days, feeling like her whole world had fallen apart. She missed her mother's hugs, her soft voice, and the warmth that filled their little house. She didn't know what to do or where to go. But Maya knew she had to keep going, just like her mother would have wanted. Not long after her mother's passing, something terrible happened. The landlord, the man who owned the house they lived in, came to the door one day. "Maya," he said with a frown, "you haven't paid the rent for months. I'm sorry, but you can't stay here anymore." Maya looked up at the landlord, tears filling her bright eyes. She didn't have any money, and there was no one left to help her. "Please, sir," she begged, "I have nowhere else to go." But the landlord shook his head. "I'm sorry, little girl. I have to think about my business. You need to leave." And just like that, Maya found herself with nowhere to live. She gathered her few belongings, just a small bag with some clothes and a photo of her mother, and stepped out into the busy streets. She was alone, scared, and unsure of what to do next. For a while, Maya wandered the streets, looking for shelter. She saw big buildings, tiny shops, and many people rushing by. No one seemed to notice her. It was as if she were invisible. She walked for hours until her feet were sore and her stomach started to growl with hunger. One night, as she walked past an uncompleted building, a building that was half-built and left unfinished, she stopped. It was quiet, with no lights and no people. She looked around and saw that it could keep her safe from the rain and the cold night air. "This will be my new home," Maya whispered to herself, hugging her bag close. From that night on, Maya started living in the uncompleted building. It was dusty, and the wind blew through the open spaces, making it chilly at night. But it was better than sleeping outside. She made a small space in one corner and laid out a piece of cloth to sleep on. In the mornings, Maya would wake up early, even though she was tired and hungry. She knew she had to find a way to earn money if she wanted to eat. She started selling things like pure water, fruits, and snacks. She didn't own these things. Instead, she worked for different people who gave her items to sell. She walked up and down the streets, calling out to people, hoping they would buy something from her. "Pure water, fresh fruits, tasty snacks," she would shout, trying to get the attention of the people passing by. Sometimes people would stop and buy from her, and she would make a little bit of money. But most of the money had to go back to the people she worked for, so she only kept a small amount for herself. It wasn't much, but it was enough to buy a little food. Life was hard for Maya, but she wasn't alone in her struggle. She soon noticed that there were other children just like her. Some of them were also orphans, and others had families who were very poor and couldn't afford to take care of them. These children, too, sold things on the streets, trying to earn money just to survive. They all understood each other's pain, and in a way, they became like a big family. One day, as Maya was returning to the uncompleted building after a long day of selling, she heard a quiet voice from the corner of the building. Who's there?" the voice whispered, sounding scared. Maya turned and saw a girl about her age sitting in the shadows. The girl had tear-stained cheeks, and her eyes were red from crying. "Hello," Maya said softly, walking closer. "My name is Maya. What's your name?" The girl sniffled and looked up. "My name is Mercy." Maya smiled gently. "Don't be afraid, Mercy. I stay here too. We can be friends if you want." Mercy wiped her tears and nodded. She seemed grateful to have someone to talk to. Over time, Maya and Mercy became close friends. They shared their stories with each other, and Maya learned about Mercy's past. "Before I came here," Mercy said one night, "my life was different. My family was very rich. We had a big house, a nice car, and I even went to a private school. I had, an older brother too. His name was Michael. He was my best friend." Maya listened quietly, her heart aching for Mercy. "One day I went to school like any other day. I was happy and didn't know that everything would change when I came back," Mercy continued, her voice trembling. "When I got home, I saw people gathered outside our house. They were crying and screaming. I ran inside and... She paused, trying to hold back her tears. "I saw my parents and my brother lying on the floor. They were gone." Maya reached out and held Mercy's hand. "I'm so sorry, Mercy." Mercy nodded, grateful for Maya's comfort. After they were buried, my uncle and his family moved into our house. At first, I thought they would take care of me, but I was wrong. They treated me like a servant. I had to do all the cleaning, cooking, and washing. They shouted at me, and sometimes they hit me. Maya gasped, feeling sad for her friend. "That's terrible, Mercy." "One night, they hit me so badly that I thought I was going to die," Mercy said, her voice barely a whisper. "I knew I had to leave, so I ran away. I didn't know where to go, but I just kept running." Maya hugged Mercy tightly. "You're safe now, Mercy. We'll look after each other." From that day on, Maya and Mercy became like sisters. They stayed together in the uncompleted building, sharing their food and helping each other whenever they could. They laughed together, cried together, and watched out for each other. They were each other's family. Some nights, they would lie on the cold floor, looking up at the stars through the open spaces in the building. They talked about their dreams, their hopes, and the things they missed the most. "Maya," Mercy said one night, "do you think things will ever get better?" Maya thought for a moment and then smiled. "Yes, Mercy. I believe that one day we'll find a way to make things better. We just have to keep going." Mercy nodded, a small smile on her face. With Maya by her side, she felt a little less afraid. Together they faced each day with courage, hoping that one day life would be kinder to them. One bright morning, Maya and Mercy got ready to start their day. They had been working hard, selling things for Madame Ify. She was their boss, a woman who was known to be very strict and didn't like to hear any excuses. Maya and Mercy had to be careful around her because if they made a mistake, she would get very angry. But today, they were determined to sell everything quickly and make Madame Ify happy. "Mercy," Maya said with a smile, "let's sell out fast today. If we do, maybe Madame Ify will let us rest a little." Mercy giggled. "Yes, Maya, let's work hard and finish early. Then we can spend some time talking about our dreams." They both laughed, feeling excited. To finish their work quickly, they decided to split up. Maya went one way, and Mercy went another. That way they could cover more ground and reach more customers. Maya walked through the busy streets, carrying her bag filled with cold, pure water sachets. She called out to people hoping they would buy from her. "Pure water! Cold, pure water here!" Maya shouted with her bright voice. People walking by started to stop and buy from her. The sun was hot, and people needed water to stay cool. One by one, Maya sold her pure water, happy each time someone bought a sachet. A kind woman came up to her and said, "Oh, little girl, you're working hard, aren't you?" Maya nodded, smiling. "Yes, ma'am. I need to finish selling all my pure water today." The woman smiled back, bought 2 sachets, and handed her a little extra money. "Here, take this for yourself, dear. You're doing a great job." Maya's face lit up with happiness. "Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much." With each sale, her bag got lighter. Soon she sold her last sachet and was all done. She felt proud and happy. Now she just had to find Mercy and see how she was doing. After a bit of walking, she saw Mercy at the corner of the street. Mercy was holding her empty bag, a big smile on her face. "Maya!" Mercy called out, waving. "Mercy, you finished too," Maya replied, running over. They hugged and laughed, happy that they had both finished selling for the day. "Now we can go back to Madame Iffy and give her the money," Maya said, holding Mercy's hand. "Yes, maybe she'll be happy with us today," Mercy said, hopeful. They started walking back, still chatting and laughing, when suddenly 3 boys appeared in front of them. The boys looked rough, with dirty clothes and hard faces. Maya and Mercy's smiles faded. They felt scared. One of the boys, the tallest one with a mean look in his eyes, stepped forward. "Hey, girls," he sneered. "What do you have for us today?" Maya and Mercy tried to move back, but the boys blocked their way. Mercy whispered to Maya, "What should we do?" Maya's voice trembled as she replied, I don't know." The tallest boy stepped closer. "Hand over all your money," he demanded. Maya tried to reason with him. "Please, we worked hard all day. We need this money to give to our boss. She'll be very angry if we don't give it to her." But the boy just laughed. "Do you think I care about your boss? Give us the money." Maya and Mercy looked at each other, terrified. They had no choice. With shaky hands, they reached into their bags and took out the money they had earned from selling pure water and snacks. They handed it over to the boys, hoping they would leave them alone. The tallest boy snatched the money and counted it quickly. He looked at the other boys and nodded. "Let's go, boys. We got what we wanted." As the boys walked away, laughing, Maya and Mercy were left standing there, empty-handed. Tears filled their eyes as they watched the boys disappear down the street. "Maya, what are we going to do now?" Mercy whispered, her voice breaking. Maya tried to be brave, but she couldn't stop the tears from falling. "I don't know, Mercy. Madame Iffy is going to be so angry." They held each other and cried. They had worked so hard, only for their money to be stolen. After a while, they knew they had to face the truth and tell Madame Iffy what had happened. There was no other way. "Let's go," Maya said, wiping her tears. "We have to tell her. Maybe she will understand." Mercy nodded, but deep down they both knew Madame Iffy was not the type to understand. Still, they had to try. When they arrived at Madame Iffy's small shop, she was sitting outside, waiting for them. She looked at them with her arms crossed, a stern expression on her face. "Where have you two been?" she snapped. "Do you think I have all day to wait for my money?" Maya stepped forward, trembling. "Madame Iffy, we have something to tell you." Madame Iffy raised an eyebrow. "What is it?" Maya and Mercy knelt down in front of her, tears streaming down their faces. "Please, Madame Iffy," Mercy said, her voice shaking. "We're so sorry. Some bad boys attacked us and took all the money we made today." Madame Iffy laughed, but it wasn't a nice laugh. It was a mean, cold laugh that made them feel even smaller. "Do you two think you can fool me?" she sneered. "Do you think I'm stupid? Hand over my money, or there will be trouble." Maya and Mercy shook their heads, still kneeling. "Please, Madame Iffy," Maya begged. "We're telling the truth. The boys stole all the money. We tried to stop them, but they were too strong." Madame Iffy looked at them, narrowing her eyes. "Wait a minute. Are you both serious? You mean to tell me you don't have my money?" They both nodded, still crying and begging her to believe them. Madame Iffy shook her head, looking annoyed. "I don't believe a word of it. You both stole my money and are trying to lie to me." "No, Madame Iffy, please," Mercy pleaded. "We didn't steal it. We would never do that. We worked so hard today. But Madam Ify was not convinced. She stood up, went inside, and returned with a long cane in her hand. Maya and Mercy's eyes widened with fear. "If you think you can lie to me and get away with it, you're very wrong," she said coldly. "You will pay for this." Before they could say anything else, Madam Ify raised the cane and started to beat them. The cane stung as it hit their arms and legs, and they cried out in pain, begging her to stop. But Madam Ify didn't listen. She kept hitting them, calling them thieves and liars. "Since you decided to steal from me," Madam Ify said after she finished, "you will work for me for a whole month without pay. Maybe then you'll learn a lesson." Maya and Mercy, bruised and sore, nodded weakly. They didn't have the strength to argue. They knew that Madam Ify was not going to forgive them. "Now get out of my sight," she said, pointing to the door. "And don't come back until tomorrow. You have a lot of work to do." Maya and Mercy got up slowly, holding each other for support. They walked out of Madam Ify's shop, tears running down their faces. They felt defeated, hurt, and hopeless. When they reached the uncompleted building, their little home, they lay down on the piece of cardboard they used as a mat. They didn't say a word. They just held each other and cried until they fell asleep. The next morning, Maya and Mercy woke up, their bodies aching from the beating they had received. But they knew they had no choice. They had to go back and work for Madam Ify. She had made it clear that they wouldn't be getting paid, so they would have to survive by asking for help from other children they knew. Each day they went out to sell pure water and snacks. They would call out to people trying to sell everything quickly, but at the end of the day they had nothing left for themselves. At times, they would go to their friends, the other children who also sold things, and ask if they had any extra food or money to share. "Please, can you spare us a little?" Mercy would ask softly, looking at her friend with hope. Sometimes their friends would give them a small piece of bread or a handful of ground nuts, and Maya and Mercy would thank them, feeling grateful for even the smallest kindness. Each night, they returned to their spot in the uncompleted building, sharing whatever little food they had, talking about their dreams, and wishing for a better life. "Maya," Mercy would say, "do you think things will ever get better?" Maya would smile, though her heart felt heavy. "Yes, Mercy. One day, things will be better. We just have to keep hoping." And so, each day, Maya and Mercy continued to work, facing the challenges together, holding on to each other, and dreaming of a brighter tomorrow. The days turned into weeks, and then into a month. Every single day, Maya and Mercy worked hard, selling pure water, snacks, and fruits for Madam Ify. They walked long distances, calling out to people on the busy streets, hoping to finish selling everything quickly. The sun was often hot, beating down on their backs, making them tired and thirsty, but they didn't stop. Finally, after one long month of working without pay, Madam Ify called them over one evening. "You two," she said, her voice cold but not as harsh as usual. "You've worked off your debt. From now on, I'll give you a little pay each day. Don't waste it." Maya and Mercy nodded, grateful that they would finally be able to earn something again. "Thank you, Madam Ify," they said, even though they knew she wouldn't respond kindly. Madam Ify just waved her hand. "Get back to work. No time for thank yous," she muttered. The girls walked away, whispering to each other. "Maya," Mercy said with a hopeful smile, "now we can start saving again." Maya nodded excitedly. "Yes, Mercy. If we save every little bit, we can finally have our own place, a room just for us." They decided to save every coin they could, even if it meant going hungry some days. Every morning they would head out, work all day, and then put aside a part of their earnings. Some days they had to skip meals, but they knew it was worth it. They dreamed of renting a small room in a "face me, I face you" compound, a type of house where many families shared a courtyard. It wasn't much, but it was safer and better than the cold, dusty, uncompleted building. One day, after working and saving for many weeks, Mercy counted their money with a big grin. "Maya, look," she said, her eyes wide with excitement. We've saved so much. I think we finally have enough to rent a small room." Maya's eyes sparkled. She clapped her hands together, feeling both excited and relieved. "Oh, Mercy, this is wonderful. We'll finally have a place to call our own." They decided to keep their money safe in a colo, a small wooden box that acted as a piggy bank. It had a tiny slot at the top for dropping coins and bills, but it could only be opened by breaking it. This way, they wouldn't be tempted to spend the money. Mercy held the colo, carefully dropping their savings inside. "Our future is inside this box," she said, smiling proudly. "Yes," Maya agreed. "This is the key to our new life." They kept the colo hidden inside their big bag and covered it with some pieces of wood to make sure no one would see it. Each night, they would check on it, feeling proud of how much they had saved. One evening, they sat in the uncompleted building, talking about what their new room would look like. "Maya," Mercy said dreamily, "I hope our new room has a small window. I want to see the stars at night." Maya smiled. "And I hope it's close to other families. Maybe we'll make new friends." They laughed and talked until they felt sleepy, both feeling hopeful for the future. The next day, they decided it was time to find an agent who could help them get a room. They had heard about a man named Mr. Tolu who worked as an agent in the nearby market. "Let's go talk to Mr. Tolu," Maya suggested, "and ask if he can help us find a nice safe room." "Yes," Mercy agreed, feeling a bit nervous but excited. When they arrived at the market, they saw Mr. Tolu sitting by a small stall, talking to someone. "Excuse me, sir," Maya said politely. "Are you Mr. Tolu?" The man turned around, smiling kindly at them. "Yes, I am. How can I help you, young ladies?" Mercy spoke up, her voice soft but steady. "We're looking for a small room to rent. Just a simple one in a face-me-I-face-you compound." Mr. Tolu nodded, his face kind. "I think I can help you with that. Do you have some money saved up?" Maya and Mercy both nodded eagerly. "Yes, sir. We've been saving for a while now," Maya said. Mr. Tolu gave them a reassuring smile. "That's good. I'll look for a safe place for you. Come back tomorrow with your money, and we can go see some rooms." The girls thanked him, their hearts full of hope. As they walked back to the uncompleted building, they held hands, excited about their future. "Maya," Mercy said, her eyes shining, "we're really going to have our own place." Maya squeezed her friend's hand. "Yes, Mercy, we just have to keep believing. Everything is finally falling into place." But when they returned to their little corner in the uncompleted building that evening, something felt wrong. As they entered, they saw their bag lying on the floor, scattered and open. "Maya!" Mercy cried, rushing over. "Our bag! It's been moved!" Maya's heart pounded as she hurried over. They dropped to their knees, frantically searching inside the bag, but their colo was gone. Their savings, their dreams, everything was gone. "No, no, no, no," Maya whispered, her voice shaking. "It can't be gone. Our money, all our money." Mercy sat down on the floor, her eyes filling with tears. Who would do this? Who would take everything we worked so hard for? Maya's hands trembled as she looked around, hoping it was just a mistake, hoping the colo was hidden somewhere nearby. She ran outside, her heart racing, and looked around the street, hoping someone had seen something. "Please," she called out to the people walking by. "Did anyone see someone enter our building?" But the people just glanced at her briefly before turning away, uninterested. Some of them shook their heads, and others just walked faster, thinking she was just a troubled child. Maya felt tears sting her eyes. She didn't want to give up, but no one was listening to her. Mercy, still inside, sat on the ground, crying softly. She couldn't believe all their hard work was gone, just like that. After a while, she came outside, found Maya, and gently placed a hand on her shoulder. "Maya," Mercy said softly, "please come inside. There's nothing more we can do right now." Maya looked at her, her face full of sorrow. "Mercy, I can't believe it. We worked so hard. We went hungry so many times just to save that money." Mercy nodded, tears streaming down her face. "I know, Maya, I know. But maybe this is a test. Maybe God has a bigger plan for us." Maya took a deep breath, trying to find comfort in Mercy's words. She knew Mercy was right. Crying wouldn't bring back their money. But it was still so hard to accept. They walked back into the building, feeling like their hearts were broken. They lay down on the cardboard they used as a bed, holding each other, trying to find comfort in each other's presence. As they lay there in silence, Maya finally whispered, "Mercy, do you think we'll ever have a real home?" Mercy gave her a gentle squeeze. "Yes, Maya. I believe that one day we will. We can't give up. We have to keep hoping, even when it's hard." Maya nodded, closing her eyes. She felt tired and sad, but deep down she knew that Mercy was right. They had each other, and as long as they stayed strong together, they would find a way. The next morning, they woke up to the harsh reality that they had to start all over again. Their bodies ached from the beating they had endured last month, and now, the loss of their savings felt like another heavy weight on their hearts. But Maya and Mercy were strong. They decided they wouldn't let this setback break them. "Maya," Mercy said as they prepared to go out and sell again, "we've come this far. We can do it again." Maya nodded, determination in her eyes. "Yes, Mercy, we'll work hard again, and this time, we'll be even more careful." They spent the day selling their items, working tirelessly in the hot sun. When they returned that night, they had saved a few coins, and they hid it safely, making sure it was well protected. From that day on, they became more cautious. They would check their hiding spot every morning and every night, and they continued to save bit by bit, hoping to reach their goal once again. Each night, they lay under the stars, talking about their dreams, imagining their future, and encouraging each other to stay strong. One evening, as they lay side by side, Mercy took Maya's hand and whispered, "Maya, no matter what happens, we have each other. We can face anything together." Maya smiled, her heart warmed by her friend's words. "Yes, Mercy. We'll keep going, no matter how hard it gets. One day, we'll look back and see how far we've come." They both closed their eyes, holding on to each other, and the hope that one day their dreams would come true. They believed in a brighter tomorrow and knew that as long as they didn't give up, they could face any challenge life threw their way.